Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong Creative. Let's work in our daily journal. I am out here with my January journal, and I thought I would turn the camera on because I think it's important to journal every day or make even a little note, one sentence a day. And I thought, I'll just share this. I'm going to leave this on the rings for right now. Well, I say that, but maybe I shouldn't do that. Let's take the cover off. And we're just going to leave this just like it is. This journal is on big rings and it's already kind of full, and I'm going to try to get through the rest of January with this. If this ends up being huge, that's okay. I don't mind that. My friend Nancy, who sometimes comments on the channel, sent me this beautiful bag that she made. Everything is hand stitched. It is the perfect size for a journal. I mean, she did a lot of work on this, and it is so beautiful. Look at the contrasting pocket. We have a couple of safety pins. I think she knows that I love safety pins. I try not to overload this bag. It's just really special, but it's perfect to carry a journal and maybe a few pens. So I take this bag with me when I take this journal with me because I don't want this to fall and have the rings pop open. And if this ends up being kind of big at the end of January, I will just display it somewhere. Nancy, thank you so much for this. I was thinking about the cover of this earlier today, and I know we have this really pretty wax seal, and I thought, well, I believe I'm just going to go around the edge of the cover with this sort of burgundy color ink pad. What is it? Rich Razzleberry. And it's an old Stampin' Up! Pad. So let's just give this some color and distressing around the edge. There, I think that does add to the overall look. I wonder if we took a little water. Yeah, look, the color starts to really show. And bring it down into bring it towards the center a little bit. It doesn't run too much though. It's soaking into that book cloth. Very neat. Okay, so turning this over, I know that I want to add some acrylic paint in the front here. Just kind of grabbing the first thing. Maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I want a couple of colors. This is Farmhouse Red. So let's just paint right on this edge here all the way down. We are worried about nothing, and we are focused on progress instead of perfection. I do like that little saying. Now let's come back and hit it with the dryer. I love how fast acrylic paint dries. That's a fun stencil, but it's a little bit big. It'll just completely cover up the red there, and I do not want that. Looking for something that might be a long strip and that we can use to get a design, down the side there. I'm seeing all sorts of things. Could be interesting just to get some messy letters right down the edge there. I wonder if we can even accomplish that. Bring it in a little bit. I'm going to try not to get over on the fabric. I just want to stay on the paint. Oh, but I got some over here. That's okay. You know how messy I can be. So not far to go. All right, I like that. It's like a mustard and ketchup in a way. We're going to put this to the side, and this will be dry by the time we're done with all of this. I just pulled this little card out of here, and I think, you know, this may get completely covered up later, who knows. But I think I'm just gonna clean that stencil off by pressing it down there. And that'll give us some background color when we get to this later. I'll put this to the side too to let it dry. I did write some things in here. Live and work with enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is such an amazing thing. And I have found just by focusing on this word that it's allowed me to get more done. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not going to be as tired, but it means that I become aware of my attitude towards something. And I hope I'm making sense with that. It reminds me that I want success with the things that I'm doing, and enthusiasm, even when you have to kind of force it, it becomes real when you get started on what you're doing. And it's like taking the first step. You know, sometimes that's the hardest thing to do. So try to embrace enthusiasm and just let it be what drives you. It can also help you to feel joy when you're working on projects. I had not really planned on this, but I think it would be fun to have these circles right here. So let's just put these down the side of the page where they're hanging off a little bit. My daughter is working on punching out some circles. I'm going to be offering bags or packets of different paper shapes and things that you can work with. And Michaela also started reading today an issue of art journaling, and I hope that will inspire her. She's very creative. She's also busy with a toddler, but we do want to do some things together, and I think it will be fun. So let's just turn this and let this be drying. I want to pull this tag out, and we've got this beautiful teal blue. I think I want to go around the edge with this. I think I'll hit the back of this too. Oh, I just remembered. Nancy asked what I used to punch the holes in these. I use this 2-hole punch. We have these where I work at the Scrap Exchange. You can find these in thrift stores that carry office supplies. I'm sure you can buy them new. I'm not sure what the cost is, but you know, when you press, you get 2 perfectly aligned holes in every page. You know, it's not saying that you're going to automatically have the pages aligned, but these holes are going to be the same distance apart on every single page you put on the rings. So it's really nice to have that, and I will add that tag later in the book. I do have a little stencil here that makes lines that I can write on, and I think I'm going to put some lines on this tag with just an ink pen. I did consider using some sort of paint or stamp pad, but I'm going to make the lines just with a pen. I know they're going to be straight, which is very nice. It makes it easy. Do we want to do this with paint? Let's come back with the red again. We'll just do that part. Oh goodness. Well, you know what? We can fix that. I think I pressed too hard with the brush. And that's the trick with stencils. Yeah, you can see the paint underneath the heart actually. You really need to use a stencil brush, and I've got to replenish my supply. I used to have a lot of those because I did stencil art in the old house that I lived in. And now I don't really have any. I just try to use regular brushes. So let's do that. And I did hit that with the heat so that it's dry. And then let's come back and lay this down again. Try to get it in the right spot. And come back with the black pen, and let's trace the heart and the circles. Looks a little primitive. It looks messy, but that's okay. Sometimes I just like to play. So I'm going to put today's date, which is January 12th, 2023. And I'm going to write a little entry. Spent the day with Michaela. Took a nap. Working on mailing out fun packs. So you know, I am working on that, and it's quite the thing to get all of these out. They're big packages, and I try to add in a few extras, and I try to package them carefully. You know, I have to weigh them and print labels. So I start with the first person who ordered, and then I work my way through and just get them out one by one. So they're on the way. And I just like to make a note of things that I'm doing, you know, in my business, ideas that come to me, things I'm doing with work. And then, what time is it? I have to go inside at 7. Jason and I are going shopping for boots. And you know what? That's going to go back in here. We'll lay it there for now. And I want to do something on this page. I have a few things here, a really pretty piece of scrapbook paper. I've got a piece of paper that came out of a journal that I made quite a while back. So I've torn this down. I have this really pretty postcard that I'm probably going to cut her out, fussy cut actually. I love that hair and just the whole thing. What is this called? Woman Seen from the Back. It's French. Not sure how to pronounce the artist's name. Oh, salted paper print from Glass Negative. Oh, that's really neat. So I will keep that information to put on the journal page. But how do we want this to be? I think I'm going to tear this right down the center. We can put this under here so that the ruffle doesn't get hidden. And maybe bring this here. Wondering if we could. And I really like these little buds on the plant underneath, so I don't want to completely lose those. We're just going to go ahead and use glue for this. So let's see, that was about right there. So let's go ahead and put this down. I do love sewing things together and making really, you know, pretty, very rich pieces of fabric and mixed media things to go in my journals. But I also sometimes just think, well, you know, it's okay sometimes just to glue things in. So let's do this. I'm going to tear this down a little bit more and tear it so there's not so much white edge showing. And that makes this look better, but it also shows us more of the plant there. And let's put that in. Jason and I both have to get new hiking boots. It's been a while since we've been to the Eno, and I have needed boots for a long time, and Jason keeps saying, let me buy you some boots, let me buy you some boots. And it's not that I don't want him to, we haven't done it, but I think we're going to go tonight and do that. And we're also going to get something to eat, and it's just really nice to get out like that. So let's put this sort of in the center, and I feel like we can add her. So let's cut her out. I am so looking forward to spring, and it will be nice to be around the Eno again when springtime arrives. I'm also planning a retreat here in Durham. It's a junk journal retreat, and that is going to be in April. It's going to be April 14th and 15th. And I'm not sure yet if we're going to have to limit the space. I know we have people interested, and I'm putting together a list of names. Some of you on here have already told me you want to be there, and that doesn't mean you're obligated, but it's helping me with numbers. And there's more talk about this in the Facebook group. Oh, look, so let's put this. I do really like that. Let's put her all the way. Should we put her all the way at the bottom? That covers up the 41 though, so I kind of think I'm cutting up my information that I need to write down what this was. Yeah, let's put it right here. And I think we're still going to be able to read it. So let's put this. Ooh, get you a little bit more glue. A little more glue. And put that right under there. And do I want to? I know one thing I want to do is not waste this yellow paint. So let's just go right down the center of that paper ruffle with this. And I'm gonna get a Sharpie. Okay, this is woman, scene, from the back. And at this point, I need a skinny Sharpie. I did manage to get all this information. Okay, so let's write the artist's name so we can keep up with that. O-N-E-S-I-P-E. O-N-E-E. O-N. And it's got that little accent aigu. Onesipi. Onesi? How do you say that? And then the last name, it's not really writing that well. A-G-U-A-D-O. I'm gonna have to switch to a different pen. A-G-U-A-D-O. French. I need new Sharpies. All right, well, you know, colors. Okay, now I want to come back with this Sharpie. And just make some marks. And let's get a tiny bit of gesso. Jen, I wouldn't have all this gesso without you. I think of you every time I use it, every single time. So let's add a little bit to just a few little spots, not a lot. Can actually just tone that down quite a bit. Okay, I think I found a quotation. I'm gonna go ahead and put this here for now because I'm pretty sure that heart is dry. I just want some old looking paper to write it on. So I'm gonna write it here. But we need for it to be able to fit. I think it'll be fine to put it right. We might put it right here across the bottom. All you have to do is look straight and see the road. And when you see it, don't sit looking at it. Walk. And that is Rand. So let's take this. This kind of goes along with my thoughts about the new year and just how I want to grow my business, my channel, and my Etsy shop over 2023. I think you have to stay motivated. And goodness, that's so much easier said than done. And you cannot just sit waiting for something to happen. You know, even with just anything you do, like I mentioned before, the goal is progress, not perfection. So let's put this right here. The ink is still a little bit damp and it did run a little bit, but that's okay because we can see what it says. And I think in finishing up, I do want to add some little dots of white inside these circles. Blue morpho. Ooh, I like that word too, morpho. It makes me think about morphing, you know, into something better and better. Just be a better version of myself every day is the thought. I'm not gonna worry about making this perfect. I know I have to go inside so Jason and I can go out, which I'm really looking forward to. And so there's that. I think we'll put that there. I might actually, I don't know, maybe I'll leave it where the wings are not completely down. I don't know. And let's take a little pen and write blue morpho. I hear rain. The last thing I want to do, let's cover her and let's cover this quote. And I want to take, here's my scissors. I may actually even see if I can get some gold splatter on there. It's a thicker paint. No wonder I have paint all over everything out here. I think that got a little bit. Even if it's just a tiny bit. Yeah, it did get some on there. We're gonna save these. Look at that. I think I see paint in my hair out of the corner of my eye. It's something. What is that? Oh, it is paint. That's okay. So this journal page is done. I'm gonna let it dry. This acrylic paint needs to dry, and then I will put my journal in the bag so that I can carry it to work tomorrow. Thank you so much for dropping in and hanging out. I will be back really soon. Fun packs are on the way. Thank you so much for supporting my shop, and bye for now.